All right, we got the star of the show with us. Ready? Nope. All right. Welcome to another episode of Inside with Outsiders, and today's guest is Chef Behzad Jamshidi, my Persian brother right here, and his son, Otis, who I don't know if he'll be with us the whole interview. But
He's quite distracted at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some squirrels you can chase up around here. He'll be fine. He'll entertain himself. Thank you for being here. I've wanted to get you on this for a while now.
A pleasure, dude.
Yeah. And I think this is the moment, the right moment, after everything that we've spoken about your career wants and life goals and so on.
Yeah.
So it's happening when it's supposed to happen.
That's exactly it. And you've been a big part of making it all happen too, in your own special way.
I don't know how that is, but I'm happy. I am. However that might be. Yeah. So, where are you from? Let's start from the beginning.
The origin story.
The origins, yes.
I was born and raised in Vancouver, in Canada. My family came by way of Iran during the revolution, so crazy Persian family, crazy big, crazy energy, crazy food. And I grew up working in my aunt's restaurant, or family restaurant.
What kind of restaurant?
It's called the Kolbeh, which is like cottage food.
Kolbeh.
Kolbeh.
Yeah.
It's like the place that, I'm glad he found a stick.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of place that like the working class feeds himself through. You show up with your own pots on Sunday morning, and we fill them up with like halim, like wheat porridge, or
I've had halim.
ash sabzi, kale pache, the famous braised lamb head stew. So, you know, the democratic side of feeding people and taking care of community through food was just something that...
This place was doing this. People were showing up. So your aunt's restaurant was providing food. This was in Vancouver?
In Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
Still cooking, 36 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
People still show up with their own pots.
It's
really?
Crazy.
How is that accepted in Canadian culture? Like, it's very different. I'm sure you have a large Iranian, Persian customer base, right?
Yeah.
But that's a different concept.
Also, a lot more Canadians than you would think. Like, there are Canadian families that like I've recognized across decades now that are like, they make that place their staple, and they come in for like magzo zabon sandwich, which is like brain offal and face meat and tongue, and it's crazy cool to see how undivisive food is in that type of context. So,
and it's always this way. They always serve food in the pots people bring, or is it only on Sundays?
You can bring your own pot. We also have takeaway containers, but it's that vibe that like, you know, the man or the woman of the house is waking up at 8 a.m. They have like 20 people they've invited over, and their wife just sends them out of the house with a pot to fill up and come back with porridge.
Is it only to go?
No, there's little seats and stuff. We do like very, very casual Persian table service, and it's always so busy on the weekends. People recognize the place because of the crowd.
Right.
And they're like, we've wanted to go, but we could never get in.
I love that it's not your traditional Persian spot.
Yeah.
Right? Every Persian restaurant, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you, but pre-pandemic, my cousin Babak and I were thinking about opening up a chai house.
Yeah.
And it would have been like a chai house in the back, but through like speakeasy, and the front storefront would have been sandwich, so Persian sandwiches.
Yeah.
Because we got tired of every Persian restaurant. It's either two options. It's your traditional, which is great. I love Persian food.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing everywhere. Or a modern take on Persian, which I hate.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. I don't like the small portion modern take on Americanized version of khormi sabzi.
Yeah,
know?
I just want khormi sabzi.
Yeah, I want it, and I want large portions because that's how it's supposed to be served.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shout out any places because I appreciate them sharing Persian culture in their own way. So I'm not going to be upset for them doing this. But to me, it's not the authentic one I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're patient enough to make Persian stew, you're patient enough to wait for the culture to shift.
Right.
And I think there's the easy accessible version of stuff, which is your kebabi bread and butter type of thing that Glendale of all places in the world does the best.
Rafi's.
Rafi's,
Yeah.
OG. And the fact that to call it Iranian or Persian is to also be Turkish, Armenian, Syrian. There's so many colors, I think, in that sphere of what we culturally associate with. And perhaps I encourage Iranians to really also encourage that more than what we now call Iran. Because just, you know, the more cultures are inside of our food, the more flavorful it is, the better the eating experience. And like all that, I think, is really good for really disseminating like the impact that our culture is going to have in other places.
Let me get this out of his mouth.
Recycling.
Oh,
But,
he's got here. Take that. Don't let him get it.
Oh.
My God.
This is perfect.
Out of everything he finds a plastic bottle.
Literally. Otis, that's going to be too loud, bubbles.
Come here. Come here. Give me. Give me. No. Oh my God. You can't make this up.
No.
Hey, how about this one? You take this? No? You don't want the steak. Come on, plastic.
We're taking a pause for Otis.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're happy doing this, I can also...
I can't do this.
Otis?
Otis, here, take
Otis,
it.
stop it.
Ready?
Up.
Ready?
Stop it.
You eat plastic is bad for you. There you go. Okay. Chris, here, take this. All right. Trying to give you organic, Otis.
Literally. So, you know, in that range of Persian food, I think it's also really important that there are people spearheading like the barrier of entry, because there will be a second wave of people that want to fill that gap that I feel like you and me are missing out of the eating experience. So it's not the hyper modern thing, and it's not the streamlined kebab thing.
Right.
And like Roshanak Yousefian comes to mind, a really close friend of mine. She has this business called Populi. She does catering and like the most beautiful like Persian cookie petit fours you've ever seen in your life. Like I can't, my thumbs are way too big to make the little delicate baklava petals and things that she puts out. But we did like this hormis abzi for a client of hers for her 50th birthday, where we brought in short rib as the meat alternative to like that chuck that every Persian mother hammers. Like, please nobody hate me for it, but like the Persian mom, unless it's abgush, we braise meat like assholes. It really sucks sometimes.
Abgush is so good.
But she did this like braised short rib version of it, and she's northern Mazandarani, so she really knows how to saute her herbs, and like it was a stew worth crying over. And I just feel like that one choice cut of meat that's very like French or very American inspired really took that dish to a place that it felt even more Iranian and even more, you know, sexy, and at the level that, you know, really helps you rethink that dish that you only ever associate with your mother's dinner table.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many more dishes than what's served in your traditional Persian restaurants. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see, you know, why not throw in a sosis banderi? You know, so throw in everything that, like, it's like, I don't know. I would love that to be the direction Persian chefs go, but we're going off on a tangent and I'm getting hungry here. Okay. This food is my favorite food by far.
Not for my lack of trying, for what it's worth.
Yeah, listen, I have to say, we were supposed to connect years ago through Alyssa.
Yeah.
And then by the luck of the draw, a friend of mine brought me to your supper at your place a couple years ago. And I'll never forget it because there were flavors in there that I hadn't tasted since my grandmother cooked for me, and it brought me back to
that's so cool.
To that. And I remember saying when that happened, like when I was tasting, I was in awe, like, wow, this is special for me. And I thanked my friend for having brought me, and then I'm glad we connected.
That's so sweet.
And then there was a vibe, and it's like, I need to know this guy. I need to make him a good friend of mine. And then we ended up talking and connecting, and about the outdoors. I really, you know, you have this love for the outdoors, and I got inspired by watching Francis Mallman on Chef's Table, and we spoke about this whole concept. But
you and me both.
Yeah, and but then you took it one step further, and I don't want to jump ahead because I know we're talking about how you grew up cooking or helping in your family's restaurant, and then from there, did you always know you wanted to be in culinary arts?
I was a 4-year-old who was like playing house with like my mom's pots and pans.
Okay.
There's actually a really funny anecdote that my cousin Shima shared with me, where she was like, you would wear a hijab, like a rusari, while you were cooking because you thought you had to be a girl to cook. And you were like, I'll do it. Like so long as I get to like make a imaginary stew or
Right.
whatever it was.
You were born in Iran?
No, I was born in Canada,
Okay,
Vancouver.
okay.
But I grew up under like strict, like no English in the house rules.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
great.
have all of that adab and farhangi of Farsi, which is like your manners and your culture.
Yeah.
And something about how strong the sense of family was, the purpose that they gave to the community, food being the vehicle, the outdoors of Canada and BC being the platform. I feel like, it's like fish is what water they were born into. And I've traveled a lot, and I've also pushed myself to different extremes in the way I was living or the work I was doing. And I always feel like I had to come back to like a sense of community that really drove the way that I was cooking, something that really connected me to my Iranian roots and my diaspora, which sometimes can be very French or Japanese because our food was so diplomatic and international. And most importantly, it has to be done from like the most natural place possible. If I can chop all my herbs by hand, I'm gonna do that and use a mixer. Or if I could toast my spices in a mortar and pestle, I'm never gonna reach for the electric spice grinder. Like I love the fundamental thing that makes us human, which is like what connects us back to the earth.
Yeah.
Like you talk about being grounded, like it's a literal thing.
I mean, it makes you feel really present in the moment because you're engaged in something, and you're touching grass, or getting your hands in the soil.
It's hard in a place like New York City, where I spent like a decade of the best and hardest years of my life, having to really like go far out of my way to get grounded again. And I think in like, what we talked about in like my last year, I really lost that. I hadn't jumped on a plane to go anywhere in a year and a half, and I dove into the biggest Persian culinary project I took on. And at some point, I woke up and I realized I had like a 6-month anniversary date where I'm like, to this day, no matter what happens, I'm gonna assess the situation and look at it objectively and decide if I'm in the right spot, and I wasn't.
Right.
So it's a crazy thing, building things up just to burn them down.
Shout out to Salat Shirazi for making the decision for you.
That's
I remember
exactly
you saying that.
Holy. Yeah, that was the rule.
Yeah.
The moment that I'd be asked to put a Salat Shirazi on the menu is the moment I'd have to walk away.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let it happen.
It's funny because that's exactly what I'm talking about. How they had this vision of making something different. But it's the same, for me, it's just like the same reason Persian restaurants put hummus and falafel on the menu.
Yeah.
Because people are going to order it, and they want to order it, even though it's not exactly Persian. It's not Persian at all, It's in the region, right?
Yeah.
It's similar, but it's not a Persian food. And they put it on the menu because Americans or maybe non-Persians want to order it.
Yeah.
Because they think that region, I'm going to get that. So it definitely bothers me, man. I want to see something more authentic.
The question for me came up in the project that we did, and we had these two really amazing friends that ran this Persian cocktail bar called Masquerade, which really was like, I don't know, it was like the equivalent of going for like your Hajj as like an Iranian or someone in like the Swana diaspora, because it's like a cool place where you get to have like cocktails with rose water and lavash and pistachio orgeat and all these.
Shout out to Obash
and Puya for like literally spearheading like our Ghavakhune, like the place where modern Rumi would go to read poems and where you'd celebrate Yalda, and they do so much work for the community and really
non-conventional but authentic still.
Like Tehran in the 70s, like like the kind of place that our parents were at our age hanging out, shooting the shit before all that political drama ended up unfolding. I can't say that in a nicer way without getting deported. But that project for me was like an opportunity to kind of just temperature check. What does it take to make your own pomegranate molasses? Like if my great grandmother was still alive, how would she shop the Union Square Farmers Market? What would she buy? What would she come back with? How would she process that stuff? And all of a sudden, I like to say that it's like a culinary language. How do you pick an ingredient and preserve it the Iranian way?
Right.
Like one of the ingredients, I was talking to, I have another role recently, but we have a chef, Rick, a culinary development chef that does fermentations and stuff upstate. And we were talking about Worcestershire sauce. And one of
Worcestershire sauce, in case you Americans don't understand.
That's it. And one of the ingredients to it is like really aged fermented like onion and garlic, which is something Iranians eat that we pickle in homemade apple vinegar.
So it was a shir torshi.
Exactly,
Yeah.
torshi sear.
Yeah,
And there's all these like extensive things in the Iranian vocabulary that are ingredients that you find here that are also things used across other cultures. And I think there's this like need to always say that immigrant food is this. Like you're trying to put it into a box and you're trying to make sure that your peas and your broccoli don't touch on the plate. When I feel like Iranian food is the opposite of that. There's actually a benefit to talking about where else it all came from and all the places it does cross-pollinate, because I think it's just going to help us have better food, which then means that like people are better fed. Then that's a better thing for agriculture, because your food can go so much farther when you know there's more to do with it.
Right.
And I think Japanese food completely revolutionized us in that way. Korean food's a huge movement like us, where I feel like Korea is the Iran of Asia in the way that they use their utility. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm really obsessed over trying to be as far as I can be inside my craft to help support the next generation of Iranians, where there are more and more of month by month, year by year in New York State and New York City that are really trying to unlock how they can bring their culture to the table that's above the kebab and not as sophisticated as, you know, trout roe on Persian dishes.
Right. I love that. And I love like what I've been seeing culturally outside of the culinary arts, like the disco Tehran, cinema Tehran. I'm the same guy, but like bring our culture to the forefront in a way that, like you said, they would have done in the 70s in Iran, you know, because it's kind of been frozen from then.
Farsi Club with Kimia from La Baz.
Exactly.
Like, you could walk in the middle of Prospect Park and you find like 50 people of all different cultures, like speaking Farsi with each other.
I gotta go do it. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I love Vancouver and I love Canada, but I don't, and you know, it's not for nothing. I feel like there's great stuff happening everywhere, but New York's the coolest. Yeah, it really just is.
I mean, I think the beautiful thing about it is some of the topics we touched on, and when we're talking about this, it was creating community around Persian culture, and not just for Persians, right?
Yeah.
I think the Persian club, the Farsi club. Farsi club is I haven't been yet, but I'm dying to go. Like, I didn't even know it was gotten that big now.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's super crazy.
I recently met Omid, the food. We talked about you as well.
The influencer.
He wants to meet you for sure. He's like, I gotta meet him.
That's so sweet.
But I love, like, he's doing a whole movement as an influencer for Persian culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first one he's gotten. I know he's more than just Iranian followers. I know that.
Yeah.
I have friends of mine that are not Persian sending me his stuff. Like, oh, look at this. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. It's cool. Keep sending it to me. I already see it, but I want them to keep being, in touch with it. Something you did this year when you took a pause after this restaurant endeavor was go to South America. I want to know all about this. This is my real reason why I want you here. I want to hear about this experience. Like, talk about what you signed up for, what you thought you signed up for, what it was you signed up for, and the experience. Tell me.
There's this poem that Momin reads at the end of his Chef's Table episode, the Call of the Wild, and it says that the wild is calling you, let us go. Mm-hmm. And I was rewatching this episode for like the 10,000th time, and I get this random DM on Instagram from this very famous, prolific artist that a lot of my friends know, named Heidi Leader. And so she's a photographer, mixed material artist, and at some point had moved down to Uruguay to this little pueblo called Gaison, which is where Francis Momin has his famous bodega.
Okay.
So I'm like, what are the chances? And she asked me to come for a residency. She had this really incredibly talented cohort of artists that came from South America, from India, from like Middle America, someone that was from Mexico City doing like journalism on like war zones and like crazy craftsmen. The whole collection of who was there at the time still left me so so inspired. So she calls me up, she tells me the deal. She's like, here's a residency, it's 4 weeks, it's in the place of your dreams. You have a home and all this faculty space to just go and play around, and there's no expectations of having to produce anything. And if you do want to produce
This is
something,
an artist residency.
yeah.
Okay.
She's like, if you do want to produce something, you can come and produce something.
Your medium was still food?
Food.
Oh, yeah.
I went to research 3 things. I went to research the dairy culture in Uruguay. I learned that generationally there were a lot of like Italian, Spanish immigrants that came, and they kind of brought the cheese practice from Europe there, using milk, like some of the highest quality milk in the world that they're growing there. In Colonia, which is on the west side that borders the canal to Buenos Aires. I heard that their aquaculture was exceptional, but nobody ate fish, which doesn't make a ton of sense because the majority of the country literally lives on the coastline. Montevideo is on the coastline. And the other aspect of it for me were Francis's famous 7 fires. This is no shade, but part of something that completely destroyed my spirit and left me in the dumps was like going to the Union Square Farmers Market, having 45 minutes to buy as many fresh things as I could, jumping in an Uber and taking it all into a basement kitchen to cook on induction and electric that would trip like every other thing that would turn on.
Right.
And like the whole kitchen was electric. We were firing like buy buddy to order, printing it with our hands every time the ticket would come up in like an electric baker's pride oven that was like inconsistent as hell. It was like the Hunger Games for food, 7 days a week. It was nuts. And I wanted the freedom that fire was going to give me. So I didn't jump over the fire at Charsham Basuri, which is a Persian thing that you do on the
7th day.
7th day. It's like the Wednesday or the Thursday after or before the New Year.
It's before, yeah.
And you jump over the fire in Zoroastrian culture to cleanse yourself, to give your coldness, your yellowness to the fire, and to take the heat and the redness into oneself. And so I saved my experience for not having to just jump over it once, but to spend 4 weeks continuously with fire and having a little bit more of a longer transformation mentally, physically, metaphysically. And so I got there. The first week I told myself I was just
Before you continue about going there, we'll just swap out 25 minutes real quick. All right, go ahead.
So I got to Gaisan, and I think I lasted 7 days without kind of touching anything in the kitchen. Someone who became a really good friend of mine, Virginia, who works for Fernando Troca, in this really amazing conservatory project that they have there, was there cooking for us every day. So I would give her a hand inside the kitchen, and by the 7th day, I dug up my neighbor's backyard, and I did a coranto, which is an offering to the earth. So I got a bunch of vegetables, I put it into a Campo Gaison tote bag, and I buried that stuff, and I let it cook for 6 hours, and then we broke a meal with the other artists over an asado that we also did on the grill, over a fresh baked like olive porridge bread that I cooked in a traditional clay and cow shit oven that was on property. And then that kind of just broke my chains. And then I became hungry to start a fire every single day.
Yeah.
So then I dug up the backyard.
And being outside, of course.
Outside the
elements,
entire time.
in nature.
Rain, wind, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Stray cats, dogs, like everything. I think there are more animals in that town than people.
I think this, not to cut you off, but we were shooting in a studio before this. And being here outside makes me so happy. I don't know what it is. It's so much more low budget because it's not a studio, but this makes me so much happier being in the elements. We got fire, we got the earth here, we have wind blowing.
It's giving Zach Galifianakis between two ferns, except under the tree in Jeremy's backyard.
And not as funny.
Yeah, it can be. We just started talking.
Okay, let's go.
So the next little fire venture was the al asado, or the al pastor, where you put the thing on the spike.
Yeah.
The thing in question was a lamb that we were trying to source out of everywhere, and we were supposed to ride a horse with one of the gauchos, the traditional cowboys, who was going to take us across a river, and the whole deal was that I could have the lamb if I caught it and if I killed it. And I'm like, I'll do it 100%. I don't think anybody knows me as a no person, but I'm like, it's Easter weekend. and I really, really, really don't want to kill a lamb on the Good Friday.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
So between Thursday and Friday night, the most apocalyptic rain hit the town, washed out the river, and we couldn't cross. And then it turned out that we ran into Francis Malman in town and his director of ops across the way, and they helped us source a lamb that was killed the day before, because you're supposed to eat fish on the Good Friday,
Right.
and they don't kill animals and all that stuff. So anyways, we ended up sourcing this lamb. I brought my smuggled saffron out of my luggage. I did the Iranian kebab marinade on the whole thing, and I spent the entire day around this fire cooking the most, honestly, the most beautiful cooked lamb I've ever done for anybody. 100 people came in for tasters. We cooked our potatoes out of escalado, which is to throw it directly into the ashes in the fire. And we made a dahus, like the Persian, it's kind of like a pan con tomate type of thing, the sauce. So we roasted our tomatoes, our onions, and some chilies. It had like 2-3 ingredients, olive oil, some citrus. And people were so blown away by the palette of simplicity of that type of stuff. And it just transformed my thinking behind food. I feel like, there's a Salvador Dali quote that I think about often that says that to eat well is to die a little, but to cook well is to die a lot. So I always feel like I have to kill myself in order to deliver a really good meal. And Uruguay, and with Heidi's help in that context, it was the first time I was enjoying myself even more than the quality of the food that was reaching people. And I kind of bookended my trip with this really amazing architect, Diego, who had invited 15 guests for me to cook with at somewhere called Casa Neptune in between Santa Monica and I can't remember the other little town right now. It's this really beautiful peninsula that he built, this stunning, it looks like something out of SpongeBob SquarePants, 4 stories, has a Michelin star level sushi restaurant in the bottom of it.
Oh wow.
And Virginia took us fishing in the morning. We captured 7, which is also biblical, of these really, really beautiful fish called corvina, and brought them back, processed them all that day, and did 7 different courses with 7 different fish. An empanada pescado, we did a Portuguese style soup, we served it as ceviche on a cold salad, we buried 2 of them inside the sand and served them with a bunch of different things that I had picked up from the farms that were around me. And I couldn't stop thinking that if this was New York City, I would have started prepping 72 hours before and gotten no sleep and felt like shit and would have been satisfied that a single person was happy with the meal. But I literally got to go spend my morning fishing and bobbing in the middle of the ocean at 5 a.m.
Right.
And something about seeing the sunrise come up and grabbing that fish and spending the whole day with it, it changed my self-respect, for me and who I am as a cook.
Serving yourself first.
And realizing that that's mise en place numero uno.
Yeah.
I got to be able to take care of myself if I'm going to be able to take care of everybody else.
Whew, I got to take that advice right now myself, I think.
You need sleep.
Yeah, I got a little sleep last night, so I'm feeling better, but it's inspiring me to make a few changes.
Yeah.
Put some thought into it.
The change isn't easy, man. I get why people don't do it.
Yeah.
I almost didn't either.
Yeah.
I flew back. I got dengue fever.
Oh, wow.
Just crazy. Felt like, I nearly died. It was properly the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. And, pre-symptoms happening, which were 48 hours after I had landed back in New York, I decided that I wanted to get rid of my house, my studio, which was this massive 4-story Michelin monster. And I took 3 weeks to literally give all my shit away.
You purged.
I purged.
Yeah.
I want the burden of all this responsibility and things and material, everything that stops me from having the easiest capacity to get grounded with myself and what it is that I need and want on a very fundamental level out of my life.
Yeah.
And at the end of that month, I booked a one-way ticket to go back home to my family in Vancouver and say that, they were the first people that really supported me in setting up my dream and becoming a chef and pursuing this career. I wanted to go back to my roots a decade later, before I turned 30, and figure out what it is that I want for the next 10 years. Yeah. And I got it. I'm proud to say that I fixed a lot of broken stuff.
Damn. It would feel great to feel lighter. I'd say that.
Yeah.
I need that.
I feel very light.
Yeah. I hear you. Then you got me thinking of me, and I can't even follow up with the next question. Well, you're back, and you've done this whole purge. You have a new project you might be jumping in on. How are you gonna move forward with? I mean, anytime you want to do a project with impact, you got to take on a little weight on your shoulders.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So how does that look?
You know, the greatest learning lesson I think I had in all the different failures I've had, and I'm so grateful I spent so much time in my 20s failing, and really failing hard and failing without any restriction or hesitation. I feel like your support system is the most important thing. I have like, it's a rubaiyat, like what are they called in English? It's kind of like this parable that we have in Farsi that Rumi wrote about a mouse that's riding on the back of a camel.
Okay.
And the mouse is boasting about its intelligence and how, crafty he is and speculative and skillful. And he gets to a riverbed and the mouse starts shrieking. The camel's like, "Why are you so afraid? You were just telling me about how grandeur and amazing and everything you were." And he's like, "Well, I'm afraid of drowning in the water." And the camel says, "Okay, well, swallow your pride and I'll cross you across the river and be proud another day." And it's that idea that even the most intelligent, the most occupied, the most talented of people still need other people to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
And my organization is called Mush because of that parable.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Because there's a lot of people in the front scenes of where media really wants to say like this chef, this person, and this story, and this food, and look at that, and pay attention to this, and you forget that the food that they cook came from a farmer who's doing things that we don't know how to do.
Right.
Like, I'm getting really humbled by being in that space where I'm like weeding for 6 hours a day and being like, I don't know anything about how things come out of the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe as much as maybe they don't know how to make like a jus that takes 72 hours, but like what's more important though,
Right.
And so what work I've done in my organization, I realized was never really about like building a company, but it was about building a community and figuring out what those values are that I want to represent no matter where I'm working and what I'm doing and who I'm associating with. Like, what are the few things you need to know about me in order to make the collaboration as seamless as possible? And I'm a people first type of person. I don't love to see what people are not. I love to focus on what people are and try to make my judgments and my decisions based off of helping put people in the best place they can possibly be. And then putting myself in the place where I can best support them in that same capacity.
Right.
So with all that stuff said, I took the summer to rehab my broken habits. I kind of cut out alcohol and a lot of other recreational uses of things. I needed to get up in the morning and perform and stay on my feet for 18 hours a day, which it's really that makes it really debilitating. And I biked, swam, ran, hiked, gym.
I saw your stories. And
played piano, read, wrote. I did whatever I needed to kind of like recultivate my support language for myself. And all the things I really needed to squash anxiety, to up my calorie, to extend my sleep, to make my body feel less sore, and all the other things that were just not doing me a service.
Yeah.
And one big experience I had was teaching culinary school. I took it as kind of like a side job. It fell in my lap a little bit with the connection that my dad had to a local college, and I got to work with my teacher's teacher, which is really special, the culinary school teachers that I was trained by at Northwest Culinary. And I had a cohort of 5 students that I really didn't know how things were going to go when I was thrown in to help them run a restaurant for 6 weeks and to do a new menu every week and to teach them how to make these things and how to fire, order, and all this stuff. And I left my knives at home, I think, after the 2nd or 3rd day. And I told myself that if I want to be the kind of leader I want to be, I have to be able to trust other people doing stuff. And all of a sudden, I feel like I really earned my chef title in that moment, because by the end of it, I feel like they brought me near to tears watching them do their last service before I left, because they were they look like cooks that have been cooking for 40 years. And it had nothing to do with, skill level and what experiences they had. They're like 16, 18, 21.
Yeah.
The oldest was 42. And it really teaches you that this industry is a people's job. First, foremost, and last, it's people work. It's not food work. You take care of people, the people take care of the food takes care of the guests. And at
So
the
when you
end
say
of,
community,
that's it.
that's, yeah.
At the end of my experience, I get this this message from Dan Barber, and I had earlier before Uruguay kind of entertained the thought of going to Stone Barns for this role that was opening up, Blue Hill up at Stone Barns, and it was the culmination of everything I've done through my 20s, traveling for work and for agriculture, trying to use culinary language to further the use of ingredients in food, making yogurts and cheeses and dough from scratch, trying to fix our broken food system in as many different languages as I found exposure to. Japan, Italy, Costa Rica,
Do you think it's
Mexico.
possible to break the broken food system given the population?
Dan's doing a pretty stoic job of it. And, I loved having the freedom of working for myself. And I kind of told myself that maybe he's the last chef on earth I would ever go and work for. So when the job offer came up to go and spearhead their events and programs, it was kind of, I still couldn't believe it.
Right.
It was that nervousness of asking for what you wanted and getting it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap. Now I'm like, did I speak too soon? Am I ready? I literally went back for 3 months, and I was hoping to have a year in Vancouver to take it slow and put my feet up and finally change the pace of my life after 15 years of grinding.
Right.
And it was ahead of my 30th birthday too. And I'm it's we say this thing at the restaurant now that I mentioned the other day. It's either you crush or get crushed. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna crush. I think it's my crush moment.
What do you mean crush or get crushed in a restaurant setting?
You either show up to do the job or you miss it. And
Yeah.
you're always going to regret that opportunity you didn't take.
Right.
I'm never going to give up an opportunity to make myself better, especially when I feel such a debt to the people around me that have supported me.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like I'm in that moment right now. I'm reading 2 books right now that one of them is supposed to help improve. It's called The Art of Gathering.
Oh, I know the book. Yeah,
So
beautiful.
finding more meaning and intentionality between our gatherings. So that's obviously what we do, bring people together, bring community gatherings. So finding reason for that, or knowing our reason for that. Another one is a book on financial simple lifestyles and how to find your freedom financially. I would also feel like I have a responsibility of not only for the guests that are signing up to be provided this community and these experiences, but also for my team, making sure we push forward in the right direction. And for myself, I got to make sure I'm happy, and finding these moments. Like Chris and I have been doing this podcast for a few years now, and we hadn't been shooting for a year. He looks at me and goes, we need to find a place to shoot. And it wasn't because we're afraid that we're going to lose a following or whatever. It's because we need a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And he needs it to be alive. He's a very creative man. I need this creative outlet as well. It's funny because we had somebody here right before you showed up to do we do 2 a day when we do these interviews. Right before it started, I'm thinking about this message someone sent me that after I responded to, I'm waiting for them to get back to me. It's just life stresses.
Yeah.
But when I started doing this, I felt way better, and I thought about what Chris said. This creative outlet is super important, and for me, this serves my need.
Yeah.
Talking to people like you, especially people like you, because I feel a connection with you. I enjoy your company, but also you're very creative, and I admire the things you do. Just as you admired when you came to that first event we did, the night hike.
Yeah.
Hearing your feedback about it was special to me. This kind of reminds me of it because you helped us set the fire up for a night hike.
That's really cute. Yeah,
there.
it was super fun.
I'm in a place right now where I feel like I pull some lessons from what you're talking about. So I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the life of a leader is a hard one, but a very privileged one. I'm so I'm so grateful that there's this standard that I'm always reaching for. Maybe some days I'm on top of it more than others, and there are some days that I disappoint myself, and I'm grateful for those moments to remind me that if I'm disappointed, it's because I care. If I didn't, I wouldn't be.
Oh, for sure. I mean, have you heard the man in the arena quote?
No.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. I'll have to read it to you right now. It's basically, it's a quote that actually LeBron loves as well, but a friend of mine gave it to me. It hangs up in my wall. I'll read it now. So it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's not for the weak being a leader.
No.
And it can be lonely. But at least I'm not going to look back and regret I should have tried this and never tried it. So that's what, having that freedom and that creative outlet for me, that's my reward. You know, and having the potential to try and make my dreams come true, that's a reward. The process is what I got to really start embracing as well. Yeah.
Maybe one thing that changed for me massively was the need to have not just the right support system around me, but people that were going to challenge me in the different avenues that I really wanted to transform myself. It's the same as, you know, how scientifically you hit a better workout with a workout buddy.
Yeah.
I was crushing workouts with my 18-year-old cousin Ashkan, who's just like the biggest teenager you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And those like days where we're like, you know, sore as hell.
Yeah.
Like taking our Mondays together, like really, it changed our bond, but it also just like completely changed my life.
Yeah.
And the cooks and chefs at Blue Hill are some of the best end cooks I have ever seen in my life. Not in a subtle way. And it's not just about the technique of the food or the quality of the stuff that they're executing. It's like, it's all the personal work everybody is doing there every single day.
Yeah.
I think Dan is the most reasonable chef I've ever met. I think the quality of the food there is some of the best quality food I've ever seen in the world. The ingredients are for sure the best ingredients I've ever seen anywhere. And I've traveled so much, and I want the tomatoes that they're growing there in the food I'm cooking. But the cooks that show up every day, positive, constructive, supportive for each other, in battling with all their own internal things and trying to be the winners in that, that's why I want to say yes to the job. I want to be there so that I'm also brushing against sharp people so that I get sharper with them too.
Yeah.
That for me is something that I feel like it's very difficult when you're being a lone leader to get that. And I feel like chefs, executives, and people that are inside that environment, there's like 150 people working together at any given time. So when the day is bad, it's bad for all of us, and when the day is good, we celebrate.
Right.
And it's that in between of what you just said with Theodore Roosevelt. It's not neither success or failure.
Right.
We really don't know how the day is going to go. That's hospitality.
But I mean, that's entrepreneurship. That's life.
You roll the ball and you chase after it as fast as you can. I love it so much. This like the miracle of how the human question of performance pulls off very momentary things that you can't, you know, cut and edit out. It's food that's cooked a la minute. It's that buzzer reader and you having to literally make that hoop.
Yeah.
Like that's the human experience for me. That's the testosterone level I want to put out.
Yeah.
Like that's the dopamine that I need in my body to get up every morning and give it my 100,000%.
Yeah. You're inspiring me to change a few things in my life right now. All right, so we talked about transition and change. That was a great story. You're obviously there. Belonging in community, tapped on that. Growth on it. I mean, you've hit. How about play and curiosity? What are you doing now in your life to find moments, playful moments, and almost childlike, nostalgic moments?
I kind of became like a professional hobbyist after this summer.
What are your hobbies?
I had some like carpet tunnel issues. Oh. Otis, come here. Probably scared whatever that was off.
Yeah. I wonder if that was an animal. It could have been.
Probably.
I don't know. We got animals picking at the trash sometimes. Oh, sorry, Corey.
So
hobbies.
I became like a professional hobbyist, and a lot of it just became around like, what are positive habits that are going to help me in some form of recovery? So early mornings, I'm a yogi.
Okay.
I'll stand on my head and I'll stretch out every part of my body that's sore before I step back into work. And it's really changed like my longevity and my stamina inside the kitchen. I need that peaceful moment where I'm like fucking, namaste and drinking my coffee and clearing my head and grounding.
Starting the day on your terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually barefoot, shirtless, like as much as I can get into the outside as possible. If it's raining, I'll still go out on the balcony and
Mine's the
do my
gym,
thing.
but if I can do it outside, I have to go outside to get to the gym, so that's my moment.
Yeah. Piano has been another one that I think's really transformed me. I originally started playing to take care of some like early acute arthritis I was experiencing and carpet tunnel I was experiencing in my hand, and it all works now. And I'm actually like multi-dexterous when I'm playing. I can have 2 squeeze bottles in either hand and go at the same time. It's crazy. But the piano has kind of become like a little bit of hypnosis for me because I'll have a feeling that I can't cook out and I can't say out loud, but I'll leave it in the piano and I'll record it and I'll listen to it the next morning or the next evening after service. And in the days where the kitchen is moving way too fast, I'm very calm and peaceful and working at a really safe pace because there's some sort of rhythm, a pentameter, the metronome is going off in my head and I'm just replaying the same song for a 4-hour service again and again in my head. It's completely changed my, did he just sack you?
He did. Yeah, I know. You want me to throw the stick, so don't hit me in the nuts.
That's a good way to get attention.
I know, jeez.
So that's been cool. It's really helped my capacity to stay grounded in really high anxiety situations. Yeah. The bike ride, I bought an old vintage cycling bike from someone that did the Tour de France with Armstrong.
Wow.
He had 2 knee surgeries and had to give it up. It's this like beautiful vintage trek bike. And I got a backpack for Otis, so he would go on my back and we would ride around like 5-6 hour rides.
Let me know. You know I love cycling.
It was crazy.
Let me know when you're ready.
And even that, like just the freedom to be able to just get on your bike and go anywhere.
It's my I don't want to say that's freedom to me.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
If the only other thing I think better than biking is if I could have wings to fly. It's
my,
like right
my
there.
friend Charlotte used to have a quote on her Instagram: "Freedom is riding downhill on a bike with no hands." And I always quote, when I'm going down the hill like this, it's as close as flying as I can get.
Yeah, and with a helmet.
Always with a helmet.
Always wear your helmet.
Always. No, I always wear a helmet for sure. I mean, it doesn't look cool. You know what looks less cool? Brain damage.
That's it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Safety's hot.
Did you reset? 4? Okay.
Yeah, so cycling, that stuff helped. Hiking is now a non-negotiable for me because Vancouver is the...
When can I come?
November.
Let me know where November's perfect. I want to go to Portland and see my brother. So it's right there.
Well, I get
will
time
you be
off
there?
for Thanksgiving, yeah. You get 5-6 days off.
I don't want to go during Thanksgiving. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Let's talk. Yeah.
Off camera, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It changed everything. Being able to take like a whole day to take a day hike and end up at a plateau with different air pressure and to clean the head, like something about fatiguing yourself in that way. You come back down without anxiety. You stop stressing about the notifications on your phone and the emails that you're waiting for and all the other junk that just gets fucking shoved down your throat and into your life.
So true. I know it's funny. I never liked hiking until I started Outsiders.
It's crazy. You guys hike a lot.
I've grown an appreciation. Now I enjoy it because of that, the way I feel when I'm on the trail, in nature.
I did a pretty good job to commercialize Outsiders though, because everything that I just mentioned is a vehicle of what we're talking about. It's like, I don't remember who said it, but sometimes to be a better artist, you have to do everything but your art. And it pays to be the boss at work, but also be the guy that's going to put a flashlight over his head and just go hike in the middle of the wilderness at 10 p.m. with Jeremy.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. You need to reset? Yeah, it was great. I'm so happy you got that, because I wanted you to come on one of our hikes to see, because people don't understand what it is until they come.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand what we do, but they don't understand the intention and the feeling of going outside and making it the new place to just make friends and enjoy. It's a new nightclub, you know? Nature's a new nightclub.
I love that. Nature's a new nightclub. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's on my hoodie. It's our merch.
I want one of those. That's super dope. I'm a size small, in case you're wondering.
We're going to get some more made, and I will get that for you. Yeah.
I think that's what the beauty about community is. It tells you how you're supposed to show up, who you're accountable to, and it's just a bit of extra energy and integrity to show up for stuff.
Collectively sharing an experience together there's something very special about that, and I feel like it's a human need.
Human need.
You know? Okay. Going for a while. Let's just see where else. Have I missed any topics that you want to discuss as far as your ever evolving path?
I want to say this out loud so that when I'm at the next crossroads, even for myself, I remember this and I am not too scared to make the next leap in wherever I have to go, because transition this summer was rough. It left me really uncertain and terrified and guessing every liberty and skill I collected in my life and feeling very much like I wasn't enough to do the next thing or to even continue. I was my own worst enemy. And now I'm learning how to be my own best friend. And that's a huge, huge shift in my mentality, that I know it's hard to kind of drop stuff for the sake of, trying to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Not even knowing what that looks like. It's really tough. I encourage everybody to go after what they want. The world will be a better place if you're happier with what you're doing and how you're doing it. And what's crazy for me, it was as simple as that hike, because I've never had the opportunity to really get out of New York. I always had to juggle it between an appointment or an agenda or something. And something about jumping on a bus with you and going north into wherever, to take that night hike and just have the liberty of just being in the outdoors in an evening in New York while everybody else was partying and worrying about work the next day. It was like a Friday night or something.
I think it was a Saturday, but I think it was a Saturday, but yeah. No, it wasn't. It was, you're right, it was right after July 4th weekend, so it wasn't Thursday or Friday, something like that.
I'm like, everybody else is having their Friday night dinner and going clubbing and juggling around, and all that stuff is super cool, but the fact that we went and got fresh air, and there were fireworks that were over the Hudson, and that the plateau from that ridge that we saw and all that, I'm like, holy crap, I don't have to be stuck. Yeah. It's all in my head. I have the capacity of being able to make a choice and make it better. And it's not about, piano piano, as they say. It's all little by little. Yeah. You don't have to tackle the big thing. You can always start with just a few little things and it'll make the difference. It'll give you the confidence to do what it is that you need to do. Yeah. So thank you for being the first key to all of that. Yeah. It really set off a massive change in my life.
I didn't realize that, but thank you. And I think this discussion is going to put some things in perspective for me and set change for me as well. So thank you in return.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to the Team Blue Hill at Stone Barns. Freaking epic.
Where?
Team Blue Hill at Stone Barns. My heroes.
Yes.
My cooks in confidence.
Yes. I want some food from you soon too.
Come check us out. Maybe we can do an Outsiders thing at some point.
I would love to. I've had conversations with Nima recently. And we discussed
another lovely one.
doing something collectively. You, me, him, and Omid, actually.
Yeah.
Collectively doing something that would be really pushing forward our culture, the outdoors, and an element of what we each bring to the table to bring people something very special.
I feel like the good folks at Brushland would be very down.
Yes, I haven't been yet.
I love on them so much, like my heroes.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Sweet.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Of course, dude.
Thank you for bringing
Thank you for
Otis as
listening.
well. Of course. This is the first time I've played tug of war on camera. You have anything you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
Shout out to Jeremy for the good work. Honestly, if you're not in the Outsiders fan club, like run. Get on the boat. It's going somewhere super cool very soon.
Thank you, Bez. Hopefully it's going somewhere super cool where you'll be involved as well.
Appreciate it.
I know. Well, thank you guys for watching. This is Chef Bez. You got to have his cooking sometime. It's very special, and the flavors to me hit home in a very special way. So thank you.
Thank you, dude.
All right, guys. Tune in the next episode.
Ciao.
You are.